Here is a tutorial for this very simple self-working card trick. I guess we can call it a self-working. There's a little bit of handling that you've got to do, but you can make this as simple or as difficult and complex as you like. That's the beauty of this trick. If you're a beginner, then you might just want to do the bare basic routine. But if you're a little bit more experienced as a hobbyist magician, you might want to actually add in a few little bits to improve it and make it even more impossible. First of all, the trick is a self-worker. And let me just go through what you need. I start, by the way, this one I won't, I'll explain at the end. So forget the prediction. I've got 14 on here, but you can use any number. Okay. For this routine, I like to use half the pack. You can use the whole pack, but as I've always said on my videos, I always find that when a spectator has the whole pack to deal out, the trick becomes a little bit boring because you've got to wait for them to deal out lots and lots of cards. So that's the only reason why I use half the cards. Now, you've got to get them to have 26 cards. Now, there's several ways of doing this. You can either just count out, say, look, I want us to take half the pack and deal out. By the way, the pack itself is totally unfaked. It is regular. There's nothing special about it. Just make sure you got 52 cards, no jokers. Okay. Now, talking of jokers, if you did want to do what I did in the routine, I got them to cut the cards. What I had, which I don't have here, is a breather card. Now, a breather card is where you either crimp a corner of the card or bend it or do a proper breather. I won't explain it on this video because there's lots of videos on YouTube about that, but you basically do this to a card to make it look like a little pyramid, and that sits on there. You then put 26 cards on there, and when you ask someone to cut the cards, 99.9% of the time they will cut to exactly that point. Okay, I use it all the time. Some people who are new to magic don't trust it, so they feel a little bit uneasy about that, but that's up to you. But I use the joker. Okay, and if I use the joker, if by chance they do cut the joker here, when I turn the cards out, I say, oh, we won't use the joker, just get rid of that. The bottom line is you need 26 cards. Get rid of the rest of them. So now, the 26 cards, you get the spectator to shuffle those because it is a genuine shuffle. You then follow the routine that I delivered exactly. Just watch it back and you'll know how this works. So you've then got to split the pack. They must have exactly half each. Now, what I tend to do, because I know I've got to get 13 cards, because we've got 26 cards here, I just push off threes, but don't make it obvious that you're counting. Okay, so I've now got 12, 13. I then hold these cards down to the table so it looks as though there's more here than here. And I just say it doesn't really matter if you don't have the same amount, as long as you've got a small packet of cards each. Again, in reality, they do have the same number, 13 cards each. Give the cards to each spectator. Ask them to shuffle them. They shuffle the pack. They're then going to look at the bottom cards. Now, you don't want a picture card because the picture cards are going to be 11, 12, 13. If they have 13, well, they've only got 13 cards. So it defeats the object of you trying to get them to deal out a few cards. So I tend to say to them that if you have a look, if you've got a picture card, then shuffle again. This person's got 5. This person's got a king, so they'll shuffle again. Now they've got a 7. So a 7 and a 5. At this point, you can have your back turned, or you can be blindfolded, or just look to the side, just so you don't see any of this. They then deal the cards down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This person will deal 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They take those. They're both going to be asked to look at these top cards. So this person has got the 6 of hearts. This person's got the King of Diamonds. Okay, so the King of Diamonds, the 6 of hearts. Remember those two cards. They put them back. Now this is what really throws a lot of people, is because normally magicians get people to put the cards they're holding on top. But here we're mixing them even more, because we're saying, can you put your cards on this packet and you put yours on there? So they're swapping and giving each other their cards. When you turn back around, you always pick up this one to your left, not their left, your left. You pick those up. Remember, this contains the card for this person here, which we'll call spectator 1. This is number 2. I drop that on top. The next part is you do nothing with the cards but deal them up, and you're going to deal a total of 12 cards. As you deal, you're thinking in your head Queen, Jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, all the way down to the ace. But don't call it out loud, don't make it obvious. Say to spectator, concentrate. Yeah. So I'm saying in my head Queen. Now what I'm looking for is, as I'm counting down Queen, Jack, 10, 9, 8, I'm looking for when I deal a card that matches what I'm saying. You'll see what I mean in a moment. So watch. Queen, Jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, did you notice the first one I came across was this one here? The 5 matched exactly what I was saying. Queen, Jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay. Now, although I've got to that, don't stop at that. Carry on dealing until you say in your head ace. Now, it just so happens that these cards did match those, but they came later on. You're not worried about those. So just this one. Okay. Now, why is that important? 2 reasons that's important is because if I look now, I know which card this spectator number 1 chose, because it's the one that follows the King of Diamonds. I know that the King of Diamonds is what this person chose. But what about the second spectator? Well, the 5 here, that tells me that the 5th card from the bottom of the pack is their card. Let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is, the 5th card from the bottom. Now at this point the trick's done, because now you know what their card is, the King of Diamonds, and you can say, I don't think it was a black card, I think it was a high red, and you can pull that out on that. You've done that. The next part is, because you know where the other card is, you can look at them and say, I'm getting a feeling on this one. I think it's this one here, the 6 of hearts. That is the easy way of doing it. If you're up for a bit of a challenge and you want to do the routine that I did with my prediction of 14, because I know that the card is 5 from the bottom, I know the position, I've got to make up 14. So basically 5 from 14, that's my prediction number. Okay, remember this is optional, you don't have to do this, but I quite like this. 14, if I take 5 from that, that's 9. That means I want to put 9 cards on the bottom. Now, in the performance, you'll see I was just taking some cards. I just take 3, 4, 5 cards. I say it's not these. That's 5, and I just take another couple, another one. I've now got 9 cards, and the others go on top. The card is now 14 from the bottom. If you want to, you can turn the cards up and start to deal down to the 14th card. Play it that way if you like. I like to be a little bit different. Take the cards and shuffle them. Now what I'm going to do is to make sure that I shuffle the cards one at a time, so I reverse the order. Now the first few I don't really care about, but when I get near the centre of this little packet of 26 cards, I pull them off one by one, okay, all the way through, and when I get near the top I can just throw them because I know that their card is the 14th. I've in effect reversed the order. So now if I deal down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, there is their card on there. Can you see what I said at the beginning of this tutorial? There's several ways of playing this effect. Once you know what their 2 cards are and where the second one is, you can just reveal it straight off, or you can do what I did, add the cards to get it to my prediction number of 14 and either deal them face up to get to it, or shuffle them to reverse their order and then reveal it as I did in the routine. I think this effect is very good. I just want to talk about a couple of things that can go wrong. This is a self-worker. It's all done through mathematics of cards, and I don't really understand that. But this routine isn't an original. It's been around for many, many years. In fact, I found this in a book from about 1959, but somebody told me that it was even before then, so it could be 100 years old. But some of you may have already come across this using a whole pack of cards, but I do like to use just half the deck. I think it goes a lot quicker if they've got to shuffle and deal just half the cards. So what can go wrong? Well, it can't go wrong. Sometimes it can just make it a little bit harder for you. It's very rare. It's happened to me once in 15, 16 years. A friend of mine that showed me this originally many years ago, he said it's never happened to him, but it can happen. When you're dealing the cards out and you're going Queen in your head, Queen, Jack, 10, 9, 8, 7. Now what happens if when you deal 7 in your head, that it comes up a 7, so you clock that 7, 6, 5, 4. Now you've got another one that matches what you're saying, 4, 3, 2, ace. Now you've got a bit of a problem because you've got a situation here where it could be 2 of them. Trust me, it's happened once to me in 15 years. It's very rare. You just got to be unlucky in how the cards are dealt. Yeah. But if it does happen, it's not the end of the world. If you're pretty quick at thinking on your feet, when I look at this, if this happened to me, I know that our secret card, our magic card, is either going to be a 7 or a 4. I look at the 2 cards that are just next to it. Remember, the card that follows will be the first spectator's card. So here I can see I've got a 3 of clubs, and here I've got a 9 of clubs. So at this point I will say, I'm getting an image. Just tell me, your card was a high card. Now if they say yes, you know it's this here. If they say no, then you know it's a 3. Okay, so that does that. It might even be that you have like that. So now I would say, do you know what? I'm picking up the colour black. Now, if they say yes to that question, is it a black card? Then I know it's going to be the 3. If not, you know it's going to be the red card, the 10 of hearts. It doesn't happen, but I just wanted to point that out if it ever does, and then you just go through the performance as per normal. Okay, have a little play around with that. Do it on yourself, and you'll see that it is a great effect. And trust me, this one does fool magicians as to how it works. Hope that's okay. If it seems a little bit daunting, rewind and watch this tutorial once or twice, and also watch the performance as to how I did that as well. But I think you'll have a lot of fun with this, as it is an impromptu without any setup if you don't want to. Okay, I know that I did the breather card, but that's because I wanted them to cut the cards, but you can deal out 26 cards. Anyway, I'm beginning to waffle on. Hope you enjoy that. Till next time, see you soon and take care.